Welcome to the Beyond 50 radio program. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Daniel Davis, your host, and we have a wonderful show ahead for you today. As many of you know, that when we go through our lives, we finally find ourselves wanting to get out there and do something different, maybe wanting to make those changes that we've always dreamed of. Many people like to chase for fame and fortune, so they pick up every self-help book they can think of and realize that the only thing they've paid for was to fill their house full of shelves of books, but never ever taking any action. Or perhaps you went to a life coach. God knows there's plenty of those out there by the thousands ready to go ahead and take your money and take you on a journey to perhaps get you to that end goal, that pot of gold that's been promised and dangled before you. All they simply have to do is just follow their program. Even further still, maybe perhaps you feel like there's just something wrong with you, and you wish that you could just kind of pull it out so you can move into the right direction that you've always dreamed of. So you sit and talk with a therapist, and before you know it, 16 years have gone by, and you realize that you created a career just for that particular person, and you're out some money. Joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today is someone who might just shed some fantastic light on a new way that maybe we can not only accelerate the particular personal changes that we're looking for, but also make those long-lasting without spending so much time. Should I say quick? I don't know. That depends on the individual. And with many of the shows that we have done, it really is up to an individual person. We don't try to even promote one-size-fits-all solutions. But what we do try to provide to people out there who are interested in effectuating long-lasting changes that are meaningful, we try to find some of the best things out there that we can to help you do this. And joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program is Rita Simon, and she is a certified alcohol and drug counselor. And perhaps what she has to share with us here today, you might take to your own professional and say, did you ever consider treating me this way? So we're going to find out more about that as you tune in. And we'd like to welcome Rita Simon for joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Dan, for inviting me to the show.
You betcha. Now, what is it that you were doing in your practice before? Share with us how you were working with people before you came upon this more or less new life-transforming process that you discovered.
I was doing the psychotherapy, traditional talk therapy with my clients who were addicted to alcohol and drugs. Mainly my population was drug and alcohol addicted individuals, and very little involvement of the family members in the treatment. And I was trying to educate them about drugs and alcohol and help them figure it out if they do have a problem or not. If they do have a problem, then what kind of problem it is, if it's just an abuse or an addiction, and then help them set up a goal. What is the best goal for them to continue use of alcohol, drugs, or quit? That's what I was doing. And then they had some issues from the past, and I didn't have expertise at the time to help them with those issues. I was sending them outside counselors and other healing modalities such as rapid eye therapy, EMDR, hypnotherapy, meditation, acupuncture, you name it. Obviously, people come back and feel better and say, okay, thank you very much, and I feel a lot better. Then I see them come back again and again. I was getting discouraged and almost decided to quit this field in 2005, December. You're right. I prayed to my higher power. I said, I love working with these people and trying to help them, but I ran out of all my ideas. If you have a different idea for me or connect me to some other source, otherwise I am not enjoying and not getting the satisfaction of helping these people.
So here you were spending this time working with people. And then a lot of times they'd come back and it just wasn't helping at all. And you were basically trying to find out, well, what do I do here? I really sincerely want to help these people, but I'm actually on the verge of quitting. And sometimes that's the point where you always hear many success stories. Just take that one more step. Now, kind of give us an idea of what was happening as you were working with these people. Did you find a lot of them were reverting back to their old behaviors and so forth? So even though you'd spent all that time and energy with them, it just really wasn't working as effectively as you'd hoped?
Yes, well, most of my clients at that time were mandated by the courts who got drunk driving tickets or mandated for other reasons under the influence of alcohol with the domestic violence or other anger-related issues. They were required to do the urine testing while they were in the program. And they were not giving me clean UAs, and they tried the best. I know they're doing everything, and there's a proof they're going to AA, that they have a sponsor, they're talking to a sponsor, and families are telling me they're working really hard. But I can figure it out why, and I would just tell them that you're not trying harder. You need to try harder,
Mm-hmm.
Use more willpower. Try
Mm-hmm.
harder. I don't care what you do, but if you want to graduate from the program and get your driver's license, that's what you need to do. And I kept pressurizing them to work harder, not realizing that they can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I found out that, they're coming back with more DUIs, more problems, and not allowing themselves to relapse. And sometimes they were like, when I felt they're about to graduate now, and right before graduation, they would cause another positive year for alcohol or drugs and extend their stay there. I don't know why. They're not stupid that they're doing that. Yes, I understand they have a problem, but what's the solution? What is that we are missing here? That's what I was wondering.
I know it's interesting. It seems the modality of what you're talking about, especially if you talk about alcoholism, is they used to label it, and I don't know if they still do, as a disease. But really, to me, I always seen it as a behavior. And just imagine the person sitting there thinking they're about to be healed and they're about to get out of that alcoholic addiction, for instance. But then they don't, and then they don't feel encouraged to. Well, it's a disease, and I don't know if it's even going to be curable. But you seem to think that there was, or believe, or know that there was something even deeper than just simply labeling it a disease, that there was more to the picture.
I almost, like everybody else, I also bought this idea it's a disease, and these people are powerless. They believe the same, and the success rate is really low. A lot of people relapse. And that wasn't really encouraging for clients to know that, they have the power over their ability to remain clean and sober. So they were getting discouraged with all this information about the success of treatment.
Now, in your circle of influence, Rita, you know other people, counselors and therapists that have been doing the same kind of work that you had been doing for quite a long time. Did you seem to feel and sense or even hear frustrations from them that seemed very similar to theirs about working with people and just not seeing success rates as well as they should?
I didn't get to mingle with professionals too much because I had 3 branches of my business, from Portland, Troutdale, Gerhardt, Oregon, Tillamook. I was just busy, from Portland to going to Tillamook and then to Gerhardt to coming in. Finally, I decided just to do 2. So I was very busy. I was more committed to learning more, and whatever was out there, I can learn to make it better or educate them better or help them better. That's what I was busy doing. Even learning from other people that, what I actually found out that some people are not serious about it, but I can't believe that most people are not serious about it. I can understand there's some people who really consciously don't want to change anything, but that's not true with everybody.
Right.
I heard that these people are not motivated, they're resistant and whatnot, so.
Kind of like to be stuck in their own misery, and that's just the way they were built, maybe.
I wasn't going to get. I did talk to my supervisor from time to time, and then attended some workshops, some for my own self to learn more about it, some just for my maintaining my continuing education hours, killing 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing. But again, I'm saying, what else can I do? I'm just burning out.
Mm-hmm. So what happened? You had your hands in the air. You're about ready to step into a different direction, and pretty much you were at the point, well, show me the way, for instance. So what happened?
One fine evening, I had a direct chat with the master. I said, I've been doing nothing but good karma toward myself and everybody else, and try to learn everything is in my way. I have no idea what else I can learn. What can I do? Please find me a better tool. I basically demanded three things. One is the magic wand. Two is I want paperless job because I want to spend more time with my client than to do paperwork. Thank God I don't take funds from state and county, then my paperwork will be 4 or 5 times more. And other was to give me time so I'm not buried in work 24/7. I can go and enjoy and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bed after that little chat, and I woke up in the morning. I got a book and email, like a offer to read Dr. Bruce Lipton's book, Biology of Belief, 30 Days for Free. Everybody likes free stuff. Okay, let's see what it is. I just ordered it. It was free. I didn't know that my prayer was answered overnight. When I got the book and started to read that book, I was totally, totally blown away. Toward the last part of the book, Dr. Bruce Lipton talked about how he was able to complete his book as a result of doing some work with PSYCH-K. I found out about PSYCH-K, a technique that I've been using for over 2 years now with my clients. I was totally glued to it. From that day, my journey began, and it's a never-ending journey. But I wanted to learn more about it and more about it, so I kept taking the workshops over and over to make sure that I understand. It's too good to be true. I was trying to find some flaws there, that there is something there. I had a hard time believing for myself because it works so fast. But eventually, when I started using with my clients, and I started seeing these changes, the family members were reporting the changes and thanking me, and clients were like coming with a glowy face and excited and giving me clean UAs and showing overall progress in their lives. Then I said, oh my God, it is powerful stuff. Then I started using with other things, just people's allergies, migraines, and even cancer. It started working for everything. So I said, what's that? It is a magic wand. I asked for a magic wand for drug and alcohol problem to help people with. But what is that? I think God decided to give me a real magic wand. And I got this magic wand that works for everything. Not only just when I'm working with people in person. I have lots of clients that I work with over the phone, and it works so well with them. So I'm totally sold on this technique, and I only use the talk therapy to talk my client's conscious mind. The rest of the work, subconscious mind is involved. Their subconscious mind is involved. That's how I found out.
So you found out about PSYCH-K, and now what does PSYCH-K do? How does it work?
Well, PSYCH-K believes that, your life is a reflection of your own beliefs. And so if you're trying really, really hard to, for example, to stay clean and sober, right? And it's not working, so maybe there's some missing piece there. Well, the belief doesn't match your goal. So once we have the belief there that I like being clean and sober, I am capable of staying clean and sober. For whatever reason, people are trying to change their life. I love the way my life is looking, being clean and sober. Once they have the matching belief, then it was easier for them to do that. So PSYCH-K is a technique to help people actually find out, first of all, what are the beliefs that are contributing to this problem, and then change those beliefs to recovery supporting beliefs. So it's a powerful tool for moving ideas from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. With the talk therapy, I didn't even know that I'm talking to the wrong part of the mind, which is the conscious mind. Conscious mind says, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but the work has to be done by subconscious mind. If there's no program there for recovery, and subconscious mind, like a 5 or 6 year old child, if you tell your 5, 6 year old child that I want to stay sober, kid is going to ask, what do you mean by that? And so, the subconscious mind doesn't understand. recovery, sobriety, you may know it. So what if you know it with your conscious mind? Does your subconscious mind know what you're looking for, what you want, what you need? So that was missing. So PSYCH-K is a tool, a very powerful tool to move ideas from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind in the language that it understands, which is sensory-based. People don't even know that. The subconscious mind has a language of its own, and it is programmable. Very easy, it's programmable.
Well, you can certainly... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And these subconscious beliefs are, below the level of our consciousness. We don't even know that, I knew more about unconscious minds. I myself did not really go too much into subconscious mind, so this was quite an information for me to learn about that. Oh my God, what I see is just a one star in the universe. Rest all is the subconscious mind. So PSYCH-K is about changing those beliefs that get in your way of where you want to be in your life. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can, you're right. Henry Ford said it. And I believe in that. Unless you believe that you can, there's no way you can do that. So,
for those of you just joining us, you're listening to the Beyond 50 radio program, and I'm joined with Rita Samana. We're talking about a powerful new modality, if you will. It's just more or less been on the horizon in the last few years, as I understand it, simply titled PSYCH-K. That's PSYCH-K. Quite simple enough to remember that. Now, it sounds like traditional talk therapy had you bringing up the program, so to speak, why you're doing what you're doing. You're there because you want to correct your course. The problem is you can't get that rudder known as your belief system to change, so willpower alone just wasn't simple enough. Wanting to do or desiring to do the right thing just wasn't enough, and the reason, as you've been explaining here on the program, is simply this, that although consciously it's something that you want to have happen, or it's something that you desire, on a subconscious level, that child subconscious, as you were saying, just simply doesn't understand what the conscious is saying. So it sounds like PSYCH-K is a way to create a communication tunnel that is very direct so that you're more in communication with your subconscious mind, and that's where deep-seated beliefs and belief systems are stored. Does that sum it up pretty correctly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. So now, tell us, it's obvious where you can see that's very different from what's been out there for people to try to heal or make changes. What would you say is the percentage rate of success for people who come to see you, and describe its lasting effects?
I've been following up with my people, clients and family and friends and whoever has worked with me using PSYCH-K. They're all moving in the forward direction. And if there are slips there, we try to find out if we need to peel another layer of onion. And once they do that, then they have long-term recovery. I find people in a growth mode, not in a protection mode and trying to get by with their life and do the day-to-day things. I see people who come for drug and alcohol treatment, for example, to me. They are excelling in every area of their life. They feel like this program is like a magic for them. They just can't last enough. And then they bring more clients. Even my dream was to get the families involved. That's why I named my business Addictions and Family Counseling, so that when the person does his recovery, the spouse or the other family members who are holding resentment for the person, it's hard for them to be supportive. In the beginning they are, but long run it's hard because they carry the program of resentments, But now I'm seeing the client's family coming and they want to get help with them and heal as a family. So I am so happy that my dream is coming through of healing the person as a whole and also as a family. All the aspects of one's life are addressed in treatment. And the great thing is that I don't really have to create a treatment plan for them. They come and tell me, what is that I need to work on myself? What is that I need to change? And PSYCH-K uses permission protocol to create a safe and effective environment for change. and higher self is communicated with directly using the muscle testing, to confirm the safety and wisdom of making the desired change. So I don't choose. We do muscle testing to find out if this is the safe goal to work on for somebody. I'll give you an example. I was in India in December, and one of my cousins, who had a problem with some health problems due to drinking, and he told me that he wanted to use alcohol as a beverage, and I gave him a piece of education that with your health problem, I don't think it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Well, we said, let's check with the subconscious mind. Why I'm saying what I know already, let's check with your subconscious mind. If your subconscious mind thinks it's a good idea, then no problem. Well, definitely.
Nothing like talking to that little child subconscious mind directly. That's kind of neat.
The hell with it. Hell no. It's not safe for me to drink, Mm-hmm. And when people tell me, can you balance me for if I can use alcohol as a beverage, it is weak, the subconscious mind says no. And then, can you balance me? The superconscious mind says, I don't think it's in your life path. It's good for you. And the subconscious mind's commitment, definitely we don't test unless we have the superconscious mind give okay with the strong, muscle testing response. I just tell them that it's not possible because your superconscious mind doesn't think it's a good idea. So I like that. It's not something for me. I think, you should do this. This is good for you. I don't use my head at all. I just muscle test with people to make sure, they get the correct answers and they follow the muscle testing, directions properly, which is like how to look, where to look, and all that stuff. So we get the correct response. And they find out for themselves and what is that they need to work on and what's going on and what needs to be changed and just come and today I want to tell you that one of my clients came and he had a stiff neck. He said, I almost canceled my appointment, Rita. I had a stiff neck, but I came anyway because I like coming here. He said, this was his first time experience, with PSYCH-K. I said, would you like to find out if there's a belief that might be getting your way? Yeah, there were half a dozen beliefs that were contributing to his stiff neck. The moment we balanced them and changed those beliefs, his stiffness totally was gone. He looks at me and said, oh, my God, what did you do? What did you do? I said, I didn't do nothing. We just released those beliefs that were causing this problem, and changed them to positive ones. So he was quite interested in, doing this. He said, well, can you do it next time again? Because I have a lot of issues that I can work on. I'm trying to quit smoking. I want to work on that one to achieve. And I said, sure. So I was so happy that in about just 20 minutes time, this guy's like moving his neck all over, and he's so happy that, then something magic happened. So I find the benefit of PSYCH-K in my practice, in my personal life, in any area of people's life. I see that it's working. And since my focus is more on the addiction field, because I feel that people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, they are just, they keep trying with the willpower and trying another counselor, going to another program, reading another book, doing their daily affirmations. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, and going to tons of AA meetings and all this stuff, and still not getting the results. I feel for them. I feel like everybody deserves, their chance in this life only, and live a fulfilled and happy and healthy life, and that keeps me going in doing introduction to PSYCH-K workshops for free, and then teaching workshops from my office and working with clients, their families. I even find people while I'm going in the plane and somebody's sitting right next to me, this young guy says, what do you do? I told him, he said, well, I went for so many times to counseling, finally, it doesn't work, so I really wanted to quit smoking pot, but it doesn't work for me. And then in plane, I did some balances, and he was totally blown away. I did exercise where I asked him, about he wants to stay clean and sober, doesn't want to do, and what his life is going to look like, what's going to sound like, what's going to feel like, and then created a statement from that program. And he was so amazed at how he felt so positive already, and he said, "I wish you were here to work with me." And I'm talking about 2 years ago. At that time, I had not learned about the long distance healing. So I said, "Well, you happen to be in Portland, give me a call," or I go to PSYCH-K website and see if you can find somebody, in your area and work with them. I was really happy that,
Hmm. Now, it seems pretty obvious how PSYCH-K is very different from other modalities. Now, earlier you had mentioned about muscle testing. What exactly is that?
Well, muscle testing is an easy and effective way to communicate with the subconscious mind.
And this is part of the PSYCH-K process, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's like a muscle testing is in PSYCH-K, we do muscle testing to communicate with the superconscious and the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind controls the motor functions such as muscle movement. So we are like a walking lie detectors, you know. So instead of like trying to figure it out what may be the problem, how about we just find out from the subconscious mind that there is a belief I'm holding that is manifesting in this problem or whatever the situation is, find out. And drinking is a symptom of whatever the problem is. And believing that, Dr. Bruce Lipton says, PSYCH-K, changing your beliefs, you can change your biology,
Hmm.
I think going on PSYCH-K website, psyche.com, psych-k.com, and brucelipton.com website, people can learn a lot about that, why PSYCH-K works and why it's very important to change the beliefs. We can change our whole chemistry and become totally healthy,
Hmm. Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense. And what you're saying now, as you were talking about the muscle testing, when you're, I guess, is it that you're looking for a belief? Is that what happens there?
Yeah, we find out, first we find out that this person is holding a belief that is manifesting in this particular problem he's experiencing. And then ask the subconscious mind that if it is safe for this person, if it isn't this person's life path to work on this goal. Sometimes, it's not like, like people come and they just want to work on first meeting something really heavy duty stuff, and the subconscious mind doesn't think that, at this time it's important. So I tell people, you're trying to put a roof, you need to put the walls first maybe. That's why your subconscious mind saying, well, the walls, you need to work on something else before. Then we try to work on some lighter issues first. And then in the end say, let's try again. Well, guess what? There's permission for working toward the goal that it said no, it's not a good idea. But if it says no, that I just tell them that it's not a good idea. We don't force it. It's not something that I think it should. If we're not getting a clear response, a yes response, which is a strong response, that means this is not on your life path and it's not going to work right now. So we can work on something else and then go from there.
Now, you were also saying that after you do the muscle testing that you do a technique called balancing. What exactly does that, what is that, and what does it do?
Well, PSYCH-K balance is a technique, designed to create a balanced identification with both hemispheres of the brain. So, we have two hemispheres of the brain, and they have different characteristics and qualities, And the PSYCH-K technique allows increases the crosstalk. PSYCH-K balance increases the crosstalk between the two brain hemispheres. For example, left brain has logic and reason, right brain has emotions and intuitions. Left has words, right has pictures. Left deals with the parts and right deals with the wholes. And left analyzes, right synthesizes, and left thinks sequentially, and right thinks simultaneously. And between the big secret between these two brain hemispheres, there's corpus callosum, like a network of all these cables. There are over 300 million networks, the cable that available for us to use. Average person uses 5 to 7%. Scientists use maybe 20, 25%. Leonardo da Vinci, Frederick Bartholdi, Albert Einstein, maybe 30%, 35%. See how
Wow.
much more we have to use due to our programs that we have, how we see our parents behave in certain situations. We get those programs. So in certain situations, we just use the program. So we're called, oh, you're just like your dad. You're just like your mom. Because those programs, like a child, we're like a sponge. We don't have the ability to pick, this is what I want. I don't want this belief, this program. We just take everything in. By the time we're 5 or 6, all the belief filters in place. So later on, I'll give you a simple example. If somebody wants to stay clean and sober, if they're not using the whole brain approach to this, for example, so they're not going to, first of all, look at drinking from whole brain point of view, staying clean and sober, And so releasing these programs of, where, for example, if somebody drank in social settings all the time and they're thinking like, oh my God, if I stop drinking, then I'll have to let go of all my friend circle. And so obviously the logic is not kicking that. You can make new friends, what is more important for you. Installing those beliefs. PSYCH-K is a unique whole brain technique, where, you can easily program and you become whole brain, then it can easily change the programming of the subconscious mind, change beliefs in the subconscious mind. It becomes very easy. So people have been definitely, able to change their beliefs and align them with the recovery goals. I can stay clean and sober. I recently had a client. She came from my inpatient program. She was very young, and she came from the program, and she was really tired of like, are you gonna lecture me? I had enough lecture. I showed her my little slideshow on what PSYCH-K is, how we help people. And just the first day I installed, we worked on only one belief statement, and the statement is that I'm ready, willing, and able to, stay clean and sober. Because she said that she wants to, but she wants to do that, but there's part that she has that doesn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just did a belief balance and changed it. And she was like, and it's a verifiable. We had a response week before, after the balance, it is strong. Not only the response was strong, her face lit up. She's like, oh my God, my hands moved on its own. You have different balances. The subconscious mind chooses which balance, I need for this particular goal. And her mother was sitting there, and she was so happy. She said, I've never seen my daughter so happy with a counselor. And she said, her mother said, I go to Al-Anon meeting, Can I also come to you? Because I'm not getting anything from Al-Anon. With due respect to Al-Anon, I went to Al-Anon for a long time. I'm also recovering codependent. And she said, I have issues that I just want to focus more on, where I want to go than to talk about, like, everybody has the same problem. What I have with my daughter, that doesn't make my problem any better, thinking that I'm one of these people. And I feel like really unlucky that, why me? Why me? And so now she wants to come, and when the daughter came the next time, just 4 days later, and she says, I have to go to prom, I'm really nervous about it. Can you help me with some balances? So we did some balances around. I feel confident about saying no. I'm assertive in meeting my needs. I feel confident. I love being clean and sober. Staying clean and sober is the best option for me. And so again, half a dozen beliefs, she balanced, and once she got done, and just like, again, this rush of energy, and she said, oh my God, she said, can I come twice a week, She said, I know I was told I should go 3 times a week, but, I didn't pressurize her at the beginning, no, you have to come 3 times a week. I said, let's see how you feel. She said, I have to come twice a week. I said, okay. He said, and I know what I want to work on next time. And I was so excited for her. Before in the past, I had to like really lecture and preach and tell her, all my clients or whatever, but now they get motivated. They say, how can I do some more work? So isn't that interesting and, I feel very content with what I do right now. For one, I don't have to listen to people's stories anymore because listening to stories.
That's always nice. And
I tell
anybody
people,
who's ever been to an AA meeting understands that's really nice because it seems that you listen to all these people that talk about how they were alcoholics, but now they're chain smoking and drinking coffee, and everybody's trying to outdo each other about how far down on the bottom they went.
It's not that I don't want to listen to the story.
No,
but
I understand.
They also don't want to tell you a story because
it
takes 3-4 weeks for them to get to know me, that they can start to open and tell. But PSYCH-K doesn't require them to really go deeper into it and talk because they're strengthening the same neural pathway to the problem. So the whole idea behind PSYCH-K is that a 4-step program. What's the problem? What would you rather have instead? Let's see if there are any beliefs that, we need to clear or change, transform them. You cannot release, just transform those beliefs, negative to positive, from self-limiting to self-enhancing beliefs toward whatever goal you're working on. And then do some balances around that, and then talk about the action plan, because PSYCH-K creates potential. PSYCH-K is not magic. PSYCH-K is a tool, to connect the person to the part of the mind and communicate the part of the mind in the language. So once you're able to tell the subconscious mind what my life is going to look like after I become clean and sober, what's going to sound like, what people will say, what I will say about me, and in the end, check if there's any ecology check, any adverse consequences, to accomplishing this goal. So it's a quite interesting process of rewriting that program in the sensory-based language, helping the person do that. So once people have that and clarity, because subconscious mind is literal. It wants to know exactly, just like a little child. You talk to a child, he'll ask too many questions, like, oh, what do you mean by that? He's not understanding what you're trying to tell, because your adult mind knows. Your subconscious mind has a master's degree or anything, It's just like 5-6-year-old child. He wants to know everything literally. So PSYCH-K is a technique where, can help the person communicate the goal in a literal sense in the sensory-based language. And once the conscious mind and the subconscious mind can communicate, understand each other in harmony, and have the matching beliefs, if I want to stay sober and I believe I can, so there's no problem there. And I do my action, there's no problem at all. It's easy. PSYCH-K is about aligning the beliefs to your goal. You don't have to change your goal. You know how many times you ask people if they're happy with their lives, their jobs? Not very many people. Lots of people keep changing jobs. I've seen people working in a certain profession and then change their job. You know what? Just like I reached that point in 2005, I almost decided to change my life. I tell you, if I had changed my life, I'd changed my job and gone to something else, I would have missed this beautiful gift that came my way. Not only healing myself, my family, my friends, my clients, everybody. So I'm glad that I didn't change my goal. I'm glad that I found out the technique, PSYCH-K, where I could realign some beliefs, change some beliefs to my goal of being able to do that. And now my life is looking like, I have very few court-mandated people that I see. Most of my clients are private, so there's not much paperwork at all. And I have time to enjoy my life. I'm not just running around. I'm excited about PSYCH-K, so I do introduction to PSYCH-K lectures and just teach one workshop every end of every month. And it's going to be more of that now because more people are finding out and they want to learn more. And another thing about PSYCH-K is that people don't need to stay in treatment for a long, long time,
Well, it sounds like it's a very quick path to getting what it is that you want. And you do this through basically questioning one thing you said that really struck me a little bit earlier when you were talking about muscle testing and balancing is the goals, that you may have a particular goal or a particular thing that you want, and you may look into this and discover, well, your subconscious mind doesn't want that. Is there a reason behind that, or is that a belief, or divinely are you supposed to maybe not have certain things? I mean, what is that all about that sometimes perhaps a goal or something like that is denied?
No, we don't check with the subconscious mind about the goal. Oh, that is the superconscious mind, Well, we don't even actually question. We don't put a question there. We just make a statement and see that subconscious agrees with that or not. It's not something like, you check if this vitamin is good for me and do the muscle testing. Say, yeah, take it. Well, I've seen a lot of people, try to do those things and check with the subconscious mind. I had this lady at a health food store she said, do you do this stuff in your practice? I said, no, I don't do that. She said, well, I always do that. It always works for me. And so I just said that we do something else. I said, you would like to have a little sample of it, what it is? I checked the statement. I deserve to live. Weak. I said, I don't care what medications you're taking, what herbal stuff you're taking, whatever you're taking, there's a belief that I don't deserve to live.
That's an interesting way of
install
looking
the belief
at it.
I deserve to live before, anything else would work for you. I deserve to be sober. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healthy. I'm confident about my recovery program. I have the abilities. I handle all my courage with confidence and hope. So whatever you want to do, we just turn that wisdom of the conscious mind or whatever people have learned, if that can become the, habit of the subconscious mind, guess what? Where you end up, can't even imagine. The psyche is about, turning that wisdom of your conscious mind and then sending it to the subconscious mind in the belief statement and in the language that it understands, if it needs to understand. If it says, no, I know what does that mean to be happy, then fine. If it says, no, I need more clarity, then we have to define the goal, what my life is going to look like, what happiness means, what being rich means. I want to be rich, People work so hard to be rich and then they have to work really, really hard and still, they don't make it there. But psyche is about, what your life is going to look like. Or subconscious mind finds you $5 is enough for it to buy gummy bears. Be happy,
$5 to buy gummy bears.
We're happy, but if you want more, it doesn't understand $1 million. It just wants to know that what are we doing with it? I'm buying a Ferrari. I'm living in a mansion-like house. I have 3 rental homes. I own my own plane. Whatever, Once you just put those visuals, then say what it means, Otherwise, goals are too abstract for the subconscious mind to understand. And other thing is that a lot of people always talk about that. I don't like this about my life. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. They keep getting the same thing over and over because the subconscious mind doesn't understand not part. It only works in the present tense. So just like a cab driver, tell me, dude, where you want to go? I'm not here to listen to your story. I'm here because you called me. You want to go somewhere. Where do you want to go? The cab driver doesn't choose for you where you should go. You have to tell where I want to go. You cannot tell I don't want to go here, I want to go. It's a good information, but where you want to go? It's more useful information. So if once people know what they want to do, and then you can, you don't have to change the goals because you tried hard and you couldn't make it there. Or you tried so many times and finally decided to give your life to alcohol drugs because it doesn't work. That's not true, It's a relapsing disease. Only if you let it relapse. If you have recovery supporting beliefs there, you're not relapsing. You're going through a journey. I have a 19-year-old girl. She came 8 months ago on her own, still coming, once a week on her own and works a part-time job and she is so excited about it. She says, I can't believe that recovery is easy and fun. She said, my friends are so jealous of me. They're saying, I don't know what you're doing in the program. Always come back so happy and her life has changed so much. Her parents are calling me. Her relationship is improving with her family. She released resentments to her mother for divorcing her father and maintaining good relationship with stepfather and like issues in recovery, she's able to address those just with the PSYCH-K work, releasing some of the things, we have a lot of balances we do where life bonding balance, for example, where, release, trauma of birth and death in that one and all those other issues that you have accumulated, It's a very, very powerful work and people don't have in treatment for lifelong. They're not damaged goods, They just need to reprogram their mind to where they want to go, and that's it. And do their action toward in the direction of the goal and what the belief they've aligned, and then there's nothing stopping them.
You know, it seems interesting. For those of you joining us, we're talking with Rita Saman about a process simply known as PSYCH-K, about how you can get in there and find out what your core beliefs are and change them to effectuate the kind of change and desired results that you would like to see in your life. And as you were talking, especially about this 19-year-old who came in and thought that, or felt that, as she was expressing, that her treatment was not only fun, but it was actually making things really happen in a very exciting way, and it was making her become excited about life. And I think a lot of us, that just would be a number one goal in many ways, is just to feel excited about getting up each and every day to see what is the mystery that's going to be before me today. And I sometimes wonder, or as you were talking too, how effective this might be, for instance, in our prison systems.
Oh, very, very effective. It will be so effective. You think that if they punish people with whatever crimes they have done, and that's it, people may not do that. It puts them in a fear mode, in a protection mode for the rest of their life, but they are not growing in their life. But the whole idea is to rehabilitate these people. You cannot rehabilitate them unless, they change their belief, the criminal beliefs they have,
Well, not to mention, too, the prisons themselves, the people that man the prisons, the guards, the warden, seem to keep these guys in a perpetual belief that they're cons, that's all they'll ever will be, and until you're finished paying your debt to society, I'm going to continually remind you that that's what you are. Hey, you can always change that at a deeper level as well.
Showing people about what they're not good at is not really helpful in their moving forward with their life. Like, I think that, he can really rehabilitate these people and help them totally, transform their lives by, transforming some self-limiting beliefs they have, that they can become normal people, they can be like normal people, and having some healthy beliefs to support their life journey, and that is in their highest and best interest and everybody else's highest and best interest,
I'm kind of curious, too. I was kind of curious, too. Now, after you work with somebody, is it possible that that same person can learn to do this so they can do things on their own afterwards?
Actually, most of my clients are doing that. Now they work on their issues in treatment with me, with PSYCH-K, and then they attend the workshop, and I offer it to them at a very reasonable cost because they have been my client, and they attend the workshop and learn how to handle their own triggers if they do experience any stress in their life. They don't have to spend tons of money and go to counselor. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but in the privacy of their own mind, they are able to, before it escalates, are able to, take care of the problem and go to the solution part right away. They are able to motivate themselves to continue with their recovery. I provide them once-a-month support where they come with other people and learn how to practice PSYCH-K with each other, so that they get like a unconditional support, of like moving forward with their life. They hardly have to talk in my program about how their drinking and drug use had been, and go on and on and on about it. I changed all these 12 steps into a more empowering step. I'm more powerful. Instead, I'm powerless over my alcohol and drugs or alcoholism. I'm powerful over my ability, to remain clean and sober,
Mm-hmm.
And I forgive myself for my imperfections. I forgive my parents for their imperfections. I cannot use because of my parents I'm this way,
Mm-hmm.
And how my drinking has affected others, I forgive myself for that. If I have shame around it, so I do some balance, I release all shame, guilt, and blame. Then releasing those and installing them with the positive beliefs, that's all it takes. Very many people know that it's so easy. It's so easy to program. A lot of people think, that, there's some myths about it, that if you had a negative belief for a long time, it will take a long, long time to change it. That's not true. And I had people in my treatment for 2 years because I said they had gone for all these years, It's going to take them a long time like everybody else. Well, most of the time changing these beliefs is just like changing a software in the personal computer. And it doesn't really take any longer to change a program than that has been in the computer for 30 years. So it's just, or compared to a program that has been there for 30 minutes, how long it takes. If you know how to rewrite the software of the subconscious mind, piece of cake. Very easy. And people can change these beliefs on their own. They don't have to come to me once they learn from my workshop, I have people from all walks of life coming to my workshop, if I see that with this workshop I have more people from addiction field, then we work with them toward finding out what is the message their disease has, and find out what are the beliefs they need to, change. And then change other myths is that changing these old behaviors and thought patterns is difficult and often painful. The no pain, no gain. I made sure in my treatment people cried in the past. They had to release, cry, So the fact is that patterns of thought behavior are caused by perception. These perceptions and beliefs are represented by the configuration of photons of light held in the electromagnetic field, which is the mind. And mind is energy, not little people, running around in our head, trying to make our life miserable. Quite frankly, these photons don't care whether you want to recognize them. Properly redirected, they will most often easily and painlessly accommodate your wishes. Another myth is that you need to know the cause of a problem. How much time I spend in trying to do research on my client where this problem came from, or to tell him, that's where it came from. So what? I find out where the problem is coming from. That's not enough for me. I still need to fix it. Find out what can I do about it,
Mm-hmm.
So becoming psychic is the becoming consciously aware of the source of the problem is seldom necessary to change most beliefs or behaviors. In other words, consciously knowing how you got to where you are, it isn't usually necessary to get what you want to be. If you're stranded somewhere, you call a cab. Are you going to tell the cab driver, why you got here and how long you've been stranded and all the situation? Or you say, my meter is clicking. Let's see where you want to go. Mm. So that's one thing I really like about PSYCH-K, using PSYCH-K, is that it just puts you in the forward direction. It's like, okay. Where do you want to go? People.
Yeah. Huh. That's very interesting. Now, how can people find out about you, where they can go? Maybe there's an email address that people can find out. How can they, first of all, do this, and then maybe to learn to do it on their own?
People can, learn more about, I wrote an article that actually, I'm really proud of myself. It's getting world fame. I didn't even think one time I could write an article.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believed maybe I was ADD. I said, okay, well, let's work on our ADD. Well, I have had really great success working with some of the young people who had ADD with PSYCH-K. But anyway, I didn't think I could write anything, even though my family always said, I'm going to write a book one day, and a good one, because I was a good storyteller.
Rita Simon, I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today to share this with our listeners.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Dan.
Well, I'm Daniel Davis, and I want to thank you all for tuning in and joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today. And if you would like to find out more about us, just go ahead and log on to our website, beyond50radio.com. That is the number 50, beyond50radio.com. And you, the listeners, I'm Daniel Davis, and remember, live your day past halfway.